I told you in yesterday's devotion I was going to explain what Lo Debar meant. Lo Debar, again, was the place where Mephibosheth was hiding out, staying at a buddy's house. Lo Debar, translated, means no pasture. It's a wasteland. It's a land of nothingness. And back in their culture, a lot of people had their little garden in the backyard so they can grow their crops. They can't go down to the supermarket. And if it's no pasture, they're not going to grow crops there. They raised animals in their culture. If there's no pasture, that's a wasteland no one's going to want to use. So not only is Mephibosheth not having his own house, he has to stay at someone's house on the other side of the tracks, in the barren wasteland where no one wants to live. What do you think that's going to do to his self-esteem? And then if you remember in the first devotion, I told you he was dropped by his nurse, and so he's crippled, he can't walk. And in that culture back then, if you became crippled, couldn't walk in some way, you were blamed. That it was your sin, something horrible about you, that's the reason why that happened. Again, what do you think that's going to do to his self-esteem? Now, remember, David's searching him out to try to find him, to restore him once again. David brings Mephibosheth before him and says, I'm going to give you back the land. You're going to eat at my table. And you know what Mephibosheth answers? Listen to his self-esteem here. Mephibosheth answers, what is your servant that you should notice a dead dog like me? He's crushed, wearing the weight of everything wrong on himself. How's your self-esteem? How are you doing with how life is treating you? Physically, every single one of us, we look in the mirror and we go, man, I wish I was buffer, or I wish I was skinnier, I wish I had more hair or different colored hair, I wish I had a smaller nose or smaller ears or higher cheekbones, or we want to fix, change, and we just don't feel like we measure up. We feel less than, worthless. Maybe you're on the run from creditors, on the run from your past, on the run from a past relationship that's there, and you're in the state of unknown in your life, and it's crushing and destroying your self-esteem. Maybe financially you don't match up to other people that are around. You look at everyone else, they got a bigger house or nicer car or better vacations. You look at fake book and you go, I don't measure up, and our self-esteem crushes you. What do you do when you feel like a dead dog, like Mephibosheth? What do you do when you self-sabotage potential joy? Because that's exactly what Mephibosheth did. David's going to restore him, and he tries to block it. Don't block blessings that are coming from God. Go to God. Go to Jesus. Your self-worth, your value is not tied into your looks. Your self-worth, your value is not tied in the car that you drive, the house that you have. Your self-value, your self-worth is not tied to what you've done. Your value, your worth is tied into what Jesus has done for you. Jesus, who didn't have the big house, the beautiful home, because he wanted to live in a better place in your heart. Jesus, who didn't have the fine automobile, he rode into Jerusalem on a donkey because Jesus was showing you those things just don't matter. Jesus, who there was nothing physical about himself that we'd be attracted to him, but yet through that body, he gave us peace in our lives. Jesus shows you your worth, your value is not in you. It comes from God who is in you. So when you're struggling, look outside of yourself. Focus on God, and God will give you worth.